It was a great start for Limitless on Overpass with a, let's just call it, underwhelming finish. Boggs and Pineapple Phillips on the call here for ESL Challenger League North America. And Timbermen are looking to close this one on their own map pick and also get a bad taste out of their mouth from the last time they played this map. It was a 16-3 loss against ATK. And Timbermen, they're going to look to do the very same to Limitless here. The crunch is coming down middle. Cameron with the opener, but Intra there with the immediate refrag. And now the mid pop has been discovered, but getting the kills are Limitless. Grizz, JBA, Scar, and JBA to finish. Limitless with the pistol round as the mid push works out. And Limitless did not play scared in that round. That is a very good sign.
That's the important caveat. That's the important factor. I talked about it in the green room, and I'm going to talk about it ad nauseum, I'm sure, in this matchup. Limitless, when they get called out on their aggression, whether it was like truly called out or just the timing, that's when they get scared. That's when they back down to stock standard CS, and that's when they lose. So they need to win rounds like that. Not only for just the momentum, but also for their mental going forward. A little bit of a peek towards alt middle there, but Timbermen for the most part are playing very passive here. They're waiting for that aggression. It's been their kind of play style for quite a while. And speaking of aggression, a double nade down towards the top of T stairs finds Snap. That's a solid start for this CT side. But we've seen stronger starts than this. We saw their start on Overpass, 5 in a row, including the first, beyond the pistol, the next 2 or 3 rounds, only one player falling. Domineering performance in the early goings. So
they lost 6 players to the first 4.
6 players in the first 4. That is unreal. 3 in the opener as well.
Yep.
And then 1 in each of the falling. That's just a dominant performance. So Limitless are not out of the woodworks yet, but this is a solid start, and they are falling off of their aggression as they should. Back towards B they come. A pair of MP9s looking to harvest the cash against these pistols. 2 Eagles and a P250. Molotov to stymie any early aggression once again. Very well thrown from Limitless. Again, they're not overextending. They're playing disciplined Counter-Strike. This is what we expected to see, and this is what we want to see throughout this map. We don't want this to just fall off suddenly.
No, for Limitless, they have to respond and just go back to what they know, what their game is, and play their game. If it doesn't work, still play your game at this point, because it's going to be better than doing whatever it was they were doing at the tail end of Overpass. Intra spots the player up top. JBA with a drop down. Gets killed there for the trade, but Scar with the last 2. And, well, we see a pattern emerging, don't we, Nate? First round, 3 lost. Second round, 1 lost. Do they get 5 in a row to start this one off?
Great question. Also important to note, that's how they started on their T side on Overpass. This is the CT side of Inferno, which could be a little bit easier, especially with these MP9s at the choke points. Looking at the investment, we have an M4 for Moss, 2 MP9s, and a Scout for Makzwell. Versus the Timbermen investment, keep in mind they only bought pistols in the round prior. That means they have a very, not even a very solid because they didn't get the bomb plant, but a decent enough buy, I should say.
It's a gun
for
round.
This round 3. Yeah, it's a gun round. 1 Galil, 4 AKs, but they're lacking a lot in the utility department, which means they kind of just have to go for a play outright, or they're going to lose their utility very quickly, and that makes things very difficult. Yep, the aggression, what we wanted to see through the apartments from Grizz. And caught out. Does get a dink, but doesn't get the kill. Good shot from Shane, being aware of the potential play.
Yeah, real good work from Shane there. And Dare and Shane both very low. No opening kill for Limitless yet. Now, they do have a lot of information that Timbermen are still congregating around middle, alt middle. So they do have information there. It's just how do they react? They've rotated an extra player over to B. Makzwell is soloing A.
Gone. Burned alive.
Oh my gosh.
Molotov spread, and at that point, when you realize you have like 70 HP and you're stuck at the far end of the Molotov,
you're done.
You're done. You're toast.
Literally. And now look at this rotation. Abandonment of the A site. And where are Timbermen going? To the wide open spaces on A. Nobody here. Just clear out everything, smoke off the chokes, get on around it. Clear site, clear pit, clear apps. Round over. Good gun round there for Timbermen. I mean, it was a bonus for Limitless, but still.
Car bonus.
A lackluster start.
A lot of us are starting to, wasn't necessarily a bonus for JBA. He might need to reinvest into the M4. So he's only $50 in the bank. It would definitely behoove him to save that gun. The Scout as well, exchanged for an MP9. A cheaper weapon on paper, but definitely a more serviceable weapon, all things considered. Far less kind of shoehorned into a very thin niche. So I do respect that upgrade. But
Yeah, I'm wondering if that MP9 is even going to be used in the next round, because Cameron could theoretically drop an op over to Maxwell. Scar and Grizz will be fine to buy.
See, the utility is they definitely do prioritize utility on this Limitless team. So they might just.
Oh, wait, Cameron can drop the op. Thought he would have had enough.
Scar could buy Kevlar and an op if he really wanted to, maybe. It's close. I think I'm doing the quick maths good. He could have, he doesn't. It is an okay buy, all things considered, but still there are those glaring holes. The MP9 specifically, Cameron does have a FAMAS that's pretty decent, but they did prioritize that utility, as I mentioned, and that is important. They have the kits, they have near full utility on everybody except for Cameron, who's lacking a flash. Still a very solid round, all things considered, for Limitless. The question is, can they maximize the potential of the MP9? Can they find the openings / prevent them? You can't have another Molotov incident like we did in the round prior.
Scar's able to back out of that too. Flash enables him to retreat. Might have gotten spotted, but either way, he's out of there alive. 5v5, a little more damage going the way of Timbermen, as they have a couple players down by 20 and 40 HP. JBA and Scar tagged for Limitless, but not too much. 21 for JBA, 4 for Scar. A bit passive for Limitless here. Everyone playing very close to the sites, except for Grizz, who's over towards Archicubby. A real lane information from them, and JBA is going to get tagged down by Droid quite well with that Galil tap. And I think the bomb's going to be brought towards B here as Shane goes for a couple jump spots, just recovers that while the rest of his team just steamrolls up to the A site. Intra traipsing around that smoke, full exit coming through. Smokes towards CT stairs and... Or not towards Coffins. And I thought I saw a third smoke. Oh yeah, they threw a double smoke from CT. Very interesting there. Grizz with the opening kill. Intro with a trade. Grizz with another through that smoke on Coffins towards Graveyard. Bomb not yet planted. Intra at 4 HP. That Molotov buying more time, but Intra gonna get that down. Snap going hunting. JBA caught off guard. No refrag just yet. Maxwell again on the MP9. Coming up Banana. Grizz takes the fight, but Snav wins it outright. Dare goes hunting, and he's done a lot of damage. Cameron trying to pounce. Low HP on another, but Dare's sprayed down and brought low. Time is ticking. Cameron baited out. Swaps the pistol. Spots the first. Can't get the kill. Taken down 2-2. And the gun round going awry for Limitless is at a bad sign after that first and second round victory for him. Now things are looking like that tail end of Overpass.
Now things are looking a little bit more dire. I want to know what happened. There was a bit of chaos. I heard like, what, 3 or 4 dinks in towards water at one point as the exec was coming through.
Yep.
And there was a lot of damage done, but I'm wondering what that was. Was it from fire? Was it from coffin? I don't know. It was just a lot of noise there and a lot of chaos. And Timberman did take a lot of damage, but I want to know what it was from because it was obviously through a wall. Either way, it is indeed Timberman to tie things up. They have rifles across the board. They have utility, no questions there. They're slower default. It's kind of waiting out the patience of Limitless, and it is indeed working thus far. Limitless on the CT side, they're going to be forced onto the save. As you can tell, it's going to be USPs across the board, and that was a tactical timeout. I'm assuming it's from Limitless, but I'm not certain. Wasn't? Was it from Timberman?
Timberman.
Okay.
It was from Timberman.
It was a scrappy round, and as we mentioned, they had like a combined 30 HP on the final 2 surviving, so I guess that does kind of make sense, but still, I'm a little bit surprised.
I am too. I think Timberman used their timeouts very early and very liberally in Overpass, and it kind of got them on the right track. They called a timeout similar to this when they got it tied up back then too. So I'm not terribly surprised they used it. And if it just helps them reset mentally and also counter more adaptation, it's very good. JBA gets naded into Oblivion, and there was a spot there, but Grizz still deals with Dare. Now, when Dare gets the op on the CT side, I'm expecting him to just pop off, because that's where he really took over the game on Overpass. didn't have as much impact, but still had a solid amount overall on T. But the bomb is brought over towards B, and the first peek from Scar gets dealt with, and Droid will deal with Makzwell too. Smoke thrown by a teammate for CT. Bomb to go down. 3-2 lead for Timbermen, all but guaranteed here, as Grizz will go hunting, and kmrn will probably just join him because there's no reason to save a USP. And the $300 kill reward isn't worth worrying about either. If anything, Grizz should save the armor, but he's going to look for an upgrade. Still, though, Timbermen on for a very solid start on the T side. It is their map pick, after all. And I'm sure after last week's result, they put in some work on this map.
Seems like it. kmrn was looking for that rifle, dropped in towards middle. Of course, that was thrown out. Very well done from Timbermen. And that player towards CT with the deagle in hand, not long for this world, tapped out of existence. Timbermen looking incredibly comfortable here on Inferno. It is their map pick for a reason. Finally getting to spread their wings like they couldn't versus ATK. They're not looking very scary. Dare talked about the op on the CT side being a specific factor to watch out for. He's going to take a crack at it here on the T side as well. And I believe he did have some decent impact versus ATK, all things considered, despite the shambolic score. I think he had the best impact you could ask for a T side op. So I'm interested to see what he can do with it versus Limitless.
Maybe a little bit more. I mean, he was a lot more free-flowing on Overpass T's side than he could ever be on Inferno, because it's just the nature of the maps. But we can expect him to get some kills. Now, if I remember right against ATK, he was entering into sites a few times, which is something you don't necessarily want to see if you are on the T side. You don't necessarily want your op trying to entry into a bomb site. You want the op to get those early picks and be ready for the post plants. But Derek gets the job done. However, he has to get the job done. Bomb being left T ramp for Timbermen. They're more than confident to just go for whatever they want. Makzwell flashed out of porch. Scar with the pick onto Droid. Not the spot into the second. Good flashbang over. Kind of stuck in sandbags, though, and they're going to hunt him down. Dare goes hunting. This is exactly what he likes to do. Just peek around with the op. Scar could go for the fight. Intra might just catch kmrn off as well. Nobody watching kmrn's back.
Oh,
Dare does have that opening pick, that trade back, the boost, nice little cheeky play. That's exactly what Dare brings to the table.
It's a big evening kill to find. Evener kill, I should say. Although it is also the evening, depending on where you are. Makzwell, though, it's his turn to shine with the op as well. He's over towards the middle. He's catching the player, probing. The rest of the squad to follow. Grizz tucking the cubby. He's not done his due diligence. They don't clear him out, and so he'll find two that go unanswered. The op is far more fickle on the T side, and Dare learns that the hard way. No scopes to be hit this time around for him. Limitless do it long last, clap back. They do it long last, put a third on the board. It is a convincing one as well.
A bit ugly in the end from Timbermen without clearing the corners properly. No utility to go in through brackets either. They get punished by a good spray. Grizz pops off, and Makzwell with that one shot kind of stabilizing things as well. 3v3. Limitless keeping players alive, going to be all right for their money. It's not in a great spot, but it's better than it would be otherwise. Timbermen buying up again. Almost down to the bottom of their own bank, too. JBA flashed and mollied forward. Peeks around the half wall and gets punished accordingly. Droid flashed up 1-for-1 with that Molotov trade. But that's a 2-for-1 trade overall towards Carr from Timbermen. And they got the player advantage. They got the manpower here. And Timbermen don't need to really rush this either. They can just probe around, do stuff like that, flash over, peek in, toss utility. But really play the time now. Play that numbers game. And work Limitless into the ground. Try and find the gap. Which they're making the right read right now. Because kmrn's the lone man over on A. And a good flashbang puts him into the ground.
Cold rotation towards B with that extra utility there, thinking that they were going to probe. That forces that player to try to support the player banana. Very smart play from Timbermen, showing that second player rotated around. Now they just have to spring the trap at A before the probing aggression towards banana comes through. kmrn in the pit now gives away his hand, and that makes things all the more difficult now. Nades will be lobbed in his direction. The bomb will go down in the meanwhile with not much fuss being given. kmrn still alive in the pit, though, is an important factor in this round. They're trying to rotate up and around. Is expected. Good kill from kmrn, but Snav and Shane answer the meanwhile, and that leaves kmrn Alamoed in and alone. 1 versus 3. With 2 on the site and a third one rotating in from the truck side, it just doesn't seem possible. 56 HP exposed to all 3. If any of them peak, Intra finds the shot. Very well read from them. And it is Timbermen to again steal away the lead. Very well done. Very well played off of their pick in the opening.
Yeah, that 2-for-1 trade. They don't completely abandon Banana fast. They back a couple of their players off, including the bomb. But they leave a couple of players up top car to probe around, make a little noise, keep Limitless honest. It's a really well-executed play from Timbermen, and they've got that lead back, plus pistols on their opposition. So it should be a 2-round lead here for Timbermen going into round number 9. Barring anything crazy from Limitless on these deagles, they have a couple of those and a P250 on Kmrn. JBA had a lot of headshots on Overpass, not exactly the fast, flashy start he wants on Inferno. Scar and Grizz doing alright, but if you're Limitless, you need to limit how many rounds Timbermen get on the board to about 6. You don't want to see him hit 7 or 8. That's where things will get really, really bad. And Limitless having to close things out on T-side Inferno isn't a good sign. This isn't a good start anyways. It's not exactly where they want to be. Now, they do have a pretty even record when it comes to round win rate, 51.4 on both CT and T-side. But it's not what you want for Limitless here, and the pistol just goes out. No trade potential at all. Scar just abandoned in that fight. And again, Timbermen with the opening pick, just going to work around the map, burn down the clock, flush out Limitless, and go into their protocols.
You can tell this player probing in middle. It's Intra, trying to just get some information, but not going out on a limb too far. Now they know it's pistols. Now Timbermen slowly and methodically play without going out on a limb. They don't want to give away a rifle. That's kind of the critical, important juncture. If a rifle's given away, then Limitless can get dangerous. But as it stands, they're just going to play together, fall up, death ball into the site, snab. It's one on the arch, kind of going a little bit by his lonesome, but still, if he fell over towards the arch juncture, it would have been coverable. And of course, that player on site, not long for the world either. It's Makzwell and JBA. JBA might be inclined to save. He has a Kevlar, he has a Deagle. Makzwell should be less so, unless they're going for a double save in the following.
If I was Makzwell, I'd at least hunt, because what's the point of saving the Deagle here? Nothing comes from that peak, but at least go find something. If you get a kill, cool. It's better than nothing. JBA has the reason to save with that vest in hand, but overall, solid stuff from Timbermen. They don't overextend. They go for a bit of a punish. Limitless really need to pick up the pace here very fast. They're getting stuck. They're getting steamrolled, and I am getting the flashbacks all the way back to map 1, where it was that early start and then just fizzles out and can't get anything going in the end. Timeout called again, this time, once again, by Timbermen. They've been very, very free-flowing with these timeouts, which I think is a bit unusual. I don't think I've seen Timbermen call these timeouts so willingly, even after rounds they've won.
Yeah, I'm confused on this one. The last timeout they called on this map, short, kind of made sense. It was a 2v1 that they very narrowly survived in. This round it looked like a very handed, casual, convincing victory versus pistols. Maybe they're trying to get into their opponent's head again. Kind of the theory for us throughout this series has been that Limitless are getting in their own heads. That they, once the going gets tough, they kind of go back to stock standard. They kind of get a little bit too apprehensive to run their own strategies, and then they struggle. Maybe a timeout like this, right before a rifle buy of Limitless, is something further to add a spanner into the works. Further keep Limitless second guessing. It could totally be mental warfare at this point. I wouldn't put it past it.
It very well might be. Who knows? It could also just be bathroom break. You never know. Now, it's a fast sprint out towards the A side from Timbermen. A much faster change of pace. Nades going in, doing a lot of damage here for Limitless. And Intra going for the opening kill onto Grizz. Gets that connection, but there's still another player lurking around the A site in the form of Kmrn on the balcony. Timbermen do not need to commit to this site, though they can back away and try something else. Maybe a run back towards B. Kmrn will try and fill up that space a little bit. Intra watching. Gets tagged down a little bit. Kmrn will wisely fall away. Aggression towards Banana, though. Scars at mailbox, looking to ship some people off down to another realm. Maxwell up with that op, gets the first and the second as Scar chimes in on the droid. Big ups from the offer of Limitless, who we need to see a lot more from. Scar getting flamed forward, tosses that nade, does a lot of damage. Hides in that smoke, comes around the corner. And all down to Intra now as Shane falls by the wayside. Makzwell flashed back and away. Bomb recovered by Intra. Nades chunking Intra down, and Jabo with the finish on the M4. 4 rounds now to Limitless, and that's timeouts from Timbermen that sometimes do work, sometimes work against them.
I really liked it too in the start. I really liked it. The aggression, you talked about it, a very quick change of pace that found early success, pushing over towards A. They found the pick. They got to fall away without taking any real damage. They didn't suffer any losses. They overthought it though. It's exactly what they did in not the round prior, but a couple rounds prior where they got that pick top banana. They threw a little bit of extra utility, showed a little bit of extra presence, and then they fell away to go to the other side. They did the exact same thing, and Limitless read it perfectly.
Well, guess who called this timeout, Nate?
I'd say at this point you'd have to guess Timbermen, but I could be totally wrong.
No, you would be right.
They called it again?
Yep.
Is that 3 of their timeouts?
That's
Of 4 total?
Of their timeouts used at or before round 10.
Goodness.
I am confused.
I'm at a loss now. What is their quirky, wacky strategy now? Because it was very clear they got
no
that
scope
fast
out of
A play.
apartments, 360 no scope.
He did love his no scopes. We saw that versus ATK.
Yeah.
But again, we talked about it maybe being like a psyop, a psychological warfare kind of deal where they called it to keep their opponents off guard. But no, they really had a strategy in mind. Yeah, exactly. They had a very clear strategy. Going fast towards A was the quick changeup that they called on that pause. What is the changeup they call now? Heavy emphasis towards A, sure, but it's not the same zeal. It's not the same aggression that necessarily requires timeout like the one they took.
It's pretty stock standard A default, honestly. Like, this is stuff you'll see in a pug. And if Dare's entering in here, that's a bad idea because there's a crossfire established on brackets. In fact, because of the lack of information towards banana, lack of people seen or utility thrown, Limitless have rotated the extra player in. Hey, they're probably not going to go B. Now they get the pick from Scar, who's able to fall away and buy time for rotations to flood back to him. It's going to be 2 rotators, JBA and Grizz, booking it to B. Scar does have a little bit of utility to ward them off with as well. The smoke will not hold them off for long as he gets the entry kill. But now there's spray opportunities for JBA and Grizz. 1 for each, but only 1, as Droid has found the refrags. Limitless coming back with Kmrn and Makzwell now. Both teams with 2 players alive. The timer ticks down as the bomb goes to the ground. Nades going into new box. Actually, they went to oranges. Not deep enough to take out any damage on Dare. Droid up on Coffin. Has 1 leg down, but look at that shot from Dare. Droid with the follow-up. Limitless. They have a good start, but they can't get the finish done. They can't just get it across the goal line, and Timbermen, at the very least, should not be calling a timeout here because that would be insanity. I still question the timeout call in the last round because there was nothing that they did last round that even required an extra second of time in the freeze period.
That was individuals bailing out a team in a big way. That should not happen like that. This is scrappy. This is messy Counter-Strike. All the utility from Timbermen was expelled over towards brackets. They lost the pick at banana as they ran through a smoke. And then they didn't even have a smoke for the cross. They were caught on the cross and somehow found trades with individual prowess, with individual skill. That's the only saving grace they had. That's the only reason they had any skin in that game.
Oh my gosh.
Now they're not clearing corners. It's scrappy again. Pistol. Kmrn finds 1. It's a good novelty. Shane will find the trade and the second, sure, but 2 for the price of 1 when you have next to no investment. Seems good enough. Looking at the money for Timbermen, they've won a couple rounds now, and they have next to no money saved up in the bank.
Because their round victories come at a cost. Come at the cost of players. Shane gets the eco ace. But that round is marred by the opening kill. You gotta check your corner. Especially if you have 2 players. 1 player watch the boiler. Point player, clear that close left cubby. They can't see you if you clear it from stairs. You see them, they don't see you. This is a Limitless timeout. It's not a Timbermen timeout, so we can all breathe easy there. But that first just apps play. Ugh. especially against the pistols. That is like the one round you cannot afford to not clear it.
Yeah. It's not pretty Counter-Strike. Truly. Now, Limitless do have rifles on the board. Timeout, very good. We talk about timeouts. It's always good to take one before your rifle buy rather than during a save. It's exactly what Limitless have done. You have to respect it. Well done from them. And again, it feels like Limitless are hurting themselves more than Timbermen are hurting them. Timbermen have the individual aim to bail themselves out, but Limitless are the ones with a better overarching strategy in mind, a better overarching protocol in the book. Because again, they're finding the advantages and falling away. They're playing their sides and they're getting out-aimed on crossings. Timbermen now, again, no respect this time towards B. And they know Scar loves playing. That's a good tendency red. Droid getting up close, finds one, falls away. Good utility damage in response from Limitless, but it's unconfirmed damage. They don't know that the nades have done near half HP to Droid and Dare. Again, pushing up, finding a timing, dropping one. Grizz will find a trade, pair of kills, in fact, and survive as well to give us team an opportunity in the retake, but can they do it? There's no kit present for the remaining CT players.
No kit, and the rotation's very far away. Grizz pretty much has to do everything on his own until the banana players can make their way up, which by the time they do, it's going to be pretty far gone on that bomb timer. Snap going to turn back around, does some damage, a lot of damage as a matter of fact, but he does get taken down to the end. Interrupt, close spot to the shadow, sprays around, and finishes off Grizz all down to one. Or two, there's still two left, but not for long. 1v1. Maxwell's got no time, though. It's over. Timbermen have 8. There's nothing Maxwell can do here to win the round. And he's probably still dead. I don't think he can get that alive with a new bomb radiuses.
Nope, not even close. Not even close. Scorched Earth policy. Does at least find 5, but at a rather hefty cost. Again, the T-side at this point has built up a bit of money. Limitless had to invest it all in that round. They don't get the win, and they lose everybody. Sure, they got 5 kills, but it doesn't matter. Again, close is only good enough in horseshoes and hand grenades, and it's not close enough in this case. Most certainly. Timbermen again can get an investment across the board, full AKs and an op to boot for Dare. And it's again pistols for Limitless. The pistols have a little bit more teeth than they did the last time. David Deagle, they have 5 7s across the board, but can they really do anything? At this point, they're going to just try and find anything. Down middle for pistols. Stab towards the tree, finds 1 and 2. Dare with the up, finds a 3rd, intro a 4th. They're now just boxed in. They're fish in a barrel, and they will be shot as such. It's a clean and flawless round for Timbermen. That was round number 13, and now it's a sizable lead. They are knocking on the door of double digits.
Double digits plus, I would say. A win here, they should get 11. Which, on the T side of Inferno, is ludicrous. And just looking at the stats. Now, Timberman's CT side, Nate, is egregiously poor. 25.9% rate on CT side. I don't know if that's going to matter.
We're 25% of 15 rounds. It's a little under 4. I'll get them to a tie.
Yeah.
But keep in mind, it's about like we talked about it.
Say 2.7. So don't quote me.
No, it's like 3 point something. 4. One more round will be 16, and divided by 4 is 4.
I have a calculator.
Yeah, we're good. It's gonna be like 3 point something. Either way, it has been duels out towards A, and let's give it away without too much trouble. Only one player falling, and it is an even 4 versus 4. The issue is at the pose plant. Limitless have to make this retake work at this point. They're out of rope. They cannot save. They have to win this retake, and Droid on a very, very solid flank here towards the player at brackets. But he's 4 timings everything, and timing drops Grizz. The op doesn't connect either for Maxwell. It's 2 kills for Droid going completely unanswered. Now Scar and JBA have no real choice but to save, and the barrel there for Scar has been spotted. Timbermen are keen on hunting. There we go, another one for Droid. We talked about him being the only silent one in map number 1. He is now awoken in map number 2. JBA might be allowed to save here on round number 14, but that is still not good. It's 10-4 and 11-4. More and more likely. He will find I guess a parting gift. It doesn't matter though. Droid has 11K in the bank as the round starts. And it looks like second half, it's going to be far less consequential. The second round pistol round will be far less consequential than it was in map number 1.
Yeah, this is basically looking like a continuation of map 1. So, Timbermen never really let their foot off the gas. They call it a bit of the trolley timeouts here. They've used 3 of their 4 timeouts already. By round 10, they'd called 3 timeouts. But it just doesn't seem like it's really going to matter in the end. Grizz getting taken down very low. Still gets the opening kill, but Intra's popped off with the second kill. Cameron gets domed by the spray recoil control of Intra. Really well done there. And Makzwell from Apps spots a couple of players, but gets one nice parting gift on the end. Now they know exactly where Makzwell is, but he's able to get a second out of that. I don't know how. But the MP9's fire rate does the job. Bomb recovered. And Makzwell, if he can get this kill onto Dare, puts Limitless in a position for 5 rounds, all down to Droid. He's definitely woken up. But does he have what it takes to pull off this 1v2 with plenty of time? And Limitless are split 1v1. No, they're going to
they're gonna gamble
the B site. If there's a site you don't want to retake, it's A.
Droid's going to clear this out as well. Might even plant for the library. This is an interesting...
Does he wrap?
Back around. He's wrapping back around over towards
gosh.
B, and he's being watched for by Makzwell. This exact angle is being watched for. Those go back and forth. This is so tense. He is going to go towards A at this point. I think it's been decided. 30 seconds left. They are getting a little bit antsy here and there, but they are sticking to their guns, and Droid has to do his due diligence and clear everything out. That's an issue. We'll begin running. 20 seconds left. Clear everything out. Smoke the apartments. That is the smart call. He's just going to plant in the site. This is a very winnable 1v2. Again, a post plant on A, combined with the fact that Makzwell is low, makes this very, very feasible. Just plays his cards right. If he either isolates the duels or just lines them up, it could very well be a quick 11th for Timbermen.
Now, if they go together, they can get the trade. Smoke goes down. Makzwell goes down first. The peek from JBA will be enough for the kill. And Limitless will, at the very least, escape with a 5th round on the board. But Timbermen needs 6 to punch this one 2-0. We'll see you for half 2 in just a moment.
Well, again, it is Limitless to stem the bleeding in the final round of half number 1. This time around, though, it's far more dire. 5-10 is the score, far more one-sided than map number 1. I'm Pineapple Phillips, joined by Boggs, and Limitless are also now finding themselves on the more difficult side of Inferno. The pistol run ahead of them is going to be difficult. Dualies towards the brackets, back and forth. Limitless stuck between the crossfire. They do dismantle it very well, though. Dare on the flank does find one. Shane offering a little bit of resistance here over towards the arch as well, but Grizz on this flank should have this player dead to rights. Yes, he does. And that is now the A side right for the taking. Very well done from Cameron to fake the play over towards B. In the meanwhile, his teammate rotates on the flank through A towards truck side. And so that leaves Dare now. He was towards Banana. He did aggress all the way down. He's now retaking from CT spawn. 1 versus 2. He has a smoke. He has Kevlar. I don't think there's a kit in play, and that makes things all the more difficult. Either player showing themselves to Dare, who has to just slowly and methodically clear all the angles to get caught on timing. The USP doesn't get the kill, doesn't do him in, sure, but it gets the information. Dare at this point has no real choice but to try and at least bait somebody out with a tap. He'll do so, and now he has no choice but to stick it. No, he's going to go for the fight instead. The knife comes out to try and take him down. In the meanwhile, though, it's Grizz to find the shots. It is Limitless to win the second pistol. The question is, how much more can they find off of it?
Cameron goes for the knife, realizes he's not going to do it, so he just crouches below the box while Grizz pops up from balcony and gets the long-range kill. They bought enough time anyways to win the round, but that's a funny way to win it. Limitless, that's 2 in a row for the first time since the beginning of this game. And a good start for them here. Another pistol round victory. Maybe they can bring this one back. Now, we did mention before the end of that first half, the historical record in the last 3 months for Timbermen's win rate on the CT side of Inferno being 25%. 25.9, but at 25% of 15 rounds, it's 3.75 rounds, Nate.
I was right. It was almost 4, round 3. Good to know my math is still there. Got that Bachelor of Arts stocked up for a reason. That's Timbermen. It's the same situation as half number 1 on map number 1. Second round, they're on a save, complete save, USPs across the board. Can't expect much of them in Limitless. They're going to give them the respect they're due. Hopefully Limitless can just win this round convincingly and get the ball rolling quickly and hopefully never have it stop either, because if they do, Timbermen will surely come back into this one in a big way.
Oh yeah, I mean, even when Dare gets the op, the momentum's going to shift. Just certainly off of that alone, Dare's going to put the team on his back again and decide to completely change the scope of this game. Cameron won on the MAC-10, a bit messy there, and he only is able to get 1 out of that SMG. Could have farmed up a lot of cash, but Limitless will be wise not to hunt here. Don't go kill the pistol. Except for maybe JBA, he's on the hunt here, and I think, yeah, he's the one player you can go for the hunt with a MAC-10. But anybody else, no. Keep the rifles. It is not worth $300 to potentially lose your AK, and that's 2 MAC-10s for Timbermen in the next round, I guess.
A good little bait switch there.
Yeah.
Got that player jumping up, shot from below. Now, yeah, 2 MAC-10s, which I can't imagine they're too keen on using, but you know what? You might drop one over to Droid to allow him to buy full utility and a kit. You know, it could work up close and personal.
I think they're doing that.
Wow, I made the read of a lifetime. Maybe I should be a coach.
Glass cannon op for Dare.
Oh my. No utility.
This is frisky.
You have that kit at least on Droid that I mentioned before, but it's just a very cobbled together investment for Timbermen. They're lacking a lot of utility. They have the single kit, they have a MAC-10, and a glass cannon op. It's a recipe for sure. I don't know if it's a winning one.
It's some... Oh, the barrel stuff with the MAC-10, and Droid can get another. Knows JBA is stuck somewhere nearby, gets baited out by the peak of Maxwell, swaps back to the rifle, and gets out of dodge. But a 4v4, not too shabby to start things off for Timbermen, although they would like to win this one confidently. Limitless, I think, got themselves in a bad situation, and were lucky to escape with only 1 loss. So, all things considered, I think both teams could be relatively happy with how that started out. And, I mean, MAC-10 gets a kill. You'll take that any day on the CT side. Little bait and switch here with the Arch and Covey player with the op in hand. And Limitless very split apart and very low on util, Nate. 3 smokes, a flash, and an HE, that's it.
That's surprising to me. There's a lot of utility exchange towards banana, I suppose, but I would expect timbermen to be the ones particularly hurting in this case. A good peek from Snab, baited in by the op shot. Cameron, though, gets the trade again. It's back and forth. It's back to even footing. Limitless again. It's much like Overpass. It's kind of the waffling back and forth. They find a pick over towards the end, and then around the 30-second mark, they make their decision in the opposite direction. This time around, it is the right call. Droid is the only one here. He does have a Molotov ready to stymie this push. He hears the steps. He throws it down. 20 seconds left, and he has bought enough time for a rotation to come through. His teammates, though, are slow to do so.
Wyatt, don't fight, don't fight. Get to site, get the bomb down. You don't need to fight. You keep the 3v3, get the bomb down, get into posts. Don't let somebody spam you through the smoke. Ooh, that was nerve-wracking. Limitless. It's been some of these micro decisions that have cost them big time in situations akin to these back on map 1. They're going to try and close it out here. Double stack over towards Coffin. Utility going in. Flashbang out. Opening from Cameron. He doubles down. Good double. That's going to send Dare saving the AWP. No armor. Does not want to contest this. And Limitless, much like their T-side start on Overpass, have shut down that first gun round of the opposition. That brings them within 2 rounds of Timbermen's 10-round score as well. Now, will they have a force up here, a half buy? What are Timbermen going to do? Because they have an op in hand, and they have Dare with armor now. You can get a little more aggressive. Would not be a bad decision to, at the very least, heavy half buy around this. Maybe dip under that 2K mark a little bit.
I can see it. At this point, their lead has diminished sizably. And again, it takes one convincing win or one scary win from Timbermen to send Limitless reeling. That has been consistent throughout this series. So, hey, if you could do it with the pistols, it's even more scary. It's even more likely.
Do you see what Cameron bought?
Yeah, he's got the Pro 90. I get it. No helmet sneeze. It could be a very potent weapon, although in this case it's not. It falls to the hand of Dare. The issue is Dare was Alamoed in the back of the site with the only really sizable primary weapon. The op now is completely isolated from anybody who could recover it, who might want to recover it. And that makes this retake all the more difficult. Maxwell, in fact, is going to pick up the big green, dropping intra. And now the pistols and the MP9 are going to be set saving. It's just Shane looking for an exit over towards construction. And the other two, Snav and Droid, are going to save their weapons and Kevlar for another day.
That's a good decision. You don't want to lose that Kevlar. It's expensive. It's $6,500. You don't, or 650 bucks, not 6,500. Imagine if Kevlar was 6,500. Jeez.
Oh, Shane Pro 90. 3 towards log and a 4th. We said it was such an epic play. That was going to be awesome, I'll say.
Yep. He's going to go vintage get right them and just mow them all down.
It's going to be a more hands-on direct approach version of the Doja nade.
Yep.
It's really what he was going for, and I really respect it, but pushing from the wrong direction, yeah. Timbermen, only 1 round lead now, which again, it's a far cry from their 5-round lead at the start of the task. But they scrupulously invested their money in the round prior. They were very astute with their investment. They studied the economics. They have economics majors, for those of you wondering, and they now know they can invest here and now. Dare, it's not the glass cannon. It's only Kevlar and no utility. Everybody else does have enough to kind of cover it, so it's going to be tight as this round goes along.
Tad bit of chip damage there on the Droid and Intra, but nothing really to speak of in the early going of this round. Snav with a great spam on the Grizz. That's a read. That's a read and a half from Snav, and I guess he just wanted to say, hey, Grizz, that's how you spam people. Now,
wood panel. Very well done.
Yeah. Great timing on that, too. A little bit of utility to entry into the A site, but Grizz goes down first. He was wounded, and Snav finishes the job he started. The bomb so far removed from Limitless. Is JPA here? Is JPA AFK? Is everything fine? Because Limitless are still going into the A site, but JPA is not moving. He's not moved a step, and they're losing players up at bracket. Now JBA will move. It's a 4v3 into the favor of Timbermen. And Limitless are going to run it back. This is 30-second takes to the other site here, Nate.
It's the
But
exact
this
same.
time, they might actually beat it.
They might actually beat it, sure, but this is the exact same. It's very transparent what Limitless are doing. They wait till 30 seconds and then go in the opposite direction. They did it before and they're doing it again. Boost up, not being watched for by the Opper. Should get the kill onto the planter. It does. 10 seconds left, and the Op of Maxwell has so many players going that doesn't even find the Op of Dare. It's just instead Shane over towards construction to get the final nail in the coffin, and they're leaving it 2 last second. They're executing around the minute mark, showing presence, and then at the 30-second mark, they're putting the brakes on and they're hightailing it over to the other side. That is what Limitless are doing, and it is being read rightly so. It's a very transparent, it's a very one-dimensional, and a very, very shallow play coming in from this T side.
Yeah, maybe a bit of a fake one way, then go back the other, but that could work. But it's been pretty one-dimensional from Limitless with these kind of elite rotations. We're going to eat the utility banana too. JBA and Scar both down decent amounts. JBA boost on logs. Intra tosses in another nade. It's going to do further damage and then jump up on Thomas Sandbags. Dare, in the meanwhile, is going to pluck Grizz from the round, and the counter
Push
nade
all the way
might
down
not even
apartments.
do anything. Oh my gosh, Dare's got 2.
Apartments. He pushed all the way down. That is a
Disgusting.
massive, aggressive play from the Op. And sure, they find a pick elsewhere, but not without lots of damage taken from those nades we mentioned before. Limitless, we're about that minute mark that I mentioned before. This is where they would go for their take. They'd throw their nades, they'd hold around a little bit, and then they'd kick it back towards the other side at the 30-second mark. I don't see them doing that this round, but they always go for these takes around the minute mark. That's exactly what's happening now as they probe slowly towards the top of Banana.
They're so low on health, though, and the guy with the most HP is on the Op. Does not bode well for Limitless. Timbermen with a double stack towards Oranges as well. Droid up on top of second. And Snav just below. Ready to peek at now, creeping towards the koi pond. Nice opening from JBA. Do they expect Droid up top? They're mollying U-Box. They're smoking cross. They do clear him out. And Scar takes so much damage on that jump across. Bomb will go down to the 2v2. Keep an eye on that nade for Shane because that can ruin the day for Limitless. But it lands on Scar's feet. He's going to go play dark. We'll see if he leaves victorious or a bit emo. Flash goes in. Molotov prepped and ready to go. Nade does not take him out. Maxwell needs these shots, needs this kill.
Oh,
Kicks a
it's a goal
field
post.
goal, and that's going to put it all on Scar. He's got the first. No! Not even the first shot. Shane puts him out of his misery. And Timbermen are so good in these clutch situations, Nate. They don't seem to lose these at all.
No, they really don't. How many rounds is that in a row now? Was it 4 in a row and then just a Timberman show? Is that what it's been?
Yep. 4 in a row, Timberman with 2. And
Oh my
probably 3,
goodness.
given the bye.
Given the bye, it seems likely, but it's exactly what it's been like on the other map. Once the going gets tough, Limitless kind of just fold. And again, this time around they didn't go for the double back, but they did once again wait for like 30 seconds and then go for the take right around the 30-second mark.
Yep.
It's getting too predictable. Good nades towards top banana, not as much damage as you would hope. Still decent enough damage, and Timbermen are rotating rightly so. Droid finding 2, 3, Intra 4th, and Droid caps it off with a 4K for himself. And that is now 3 rounds in a row for Timbermen. And again, looking good, clean, convincing rounds. They're building up a CT economy. Limitless have another crack at bat with AKs. Looks like AKs across the board is going to be the order. Yes, it is. But again, when the going gets tough, they are entirely absent. And honestly, at this point, I'm expecting nothing different in this one.
It's something I heard about martial arts and fighting. You start off as a master. You take 1 hit to the head, you're a black belt. You take another hit to the head, you go down. You basically go down exponentially in terms of awareness and skill the more you get hit in the head. That's what it seems like's happening in Limitless. They get punched, and they just keep falling down and down and down until the point where they're not even themselves anymore. And it's really rough to watch for Limitless because you see moments of brilliance. You see moments where it's like, all right, this team can cook, and then it's like they swap the salt with sugar.
Get burned out of the kitchen. They try to put out
started
the
grease fire. I didn't want to go that
Yeah, I was
far,
saying they have a small grease fire and they put water on it, and then it just turns into an issue. It's a big issue made out of nothing, just a little pile of grease. It's exactly.
All you gotta do is cover it.
Yeah, you have to know how to deal with it. You have to know how to adapt. And right now, Limitless don't know how to adapt. That's going to come with time. Come on, this is their debut in ECL. Deep trap, when they get scared, they don't adapt. And they're holding the arch very well done to find the opening. Sends Limitless packing. Again, they're going for information right around that minute mark. And now they're kicking it to the other side at around the 30-second mark. I'm going to keep saying it every time I notice it. I'm going to keep saying it every time I notice it. It's going to get monotonous. It's going to get annoying. Oh, they're double faking this time around. And it's right at the 30-second mark. Right at the 30-second mark. It is a nice adjustment. Will it work? Not thus far. They passed the first trial with a little bit of damage being taken. Droid finds one elsewhere, though. Yep, the lurk is taken down. Staying on site now. In a very good position to buy time. Doesn't win the duel, though. At least not cleanly. Makzwell finds one. Dare finds the trade, though. That leaves Makzwell in a very unenviable 1v3.
He's going to push the op, which is not a terrible idea, given the fact that he's trying to close the gap. He actually wins that fight. And he swings out wide for the next. Makzwell needs the reload. It's going to put him out of his misery. Intro with the timing, the luck on the Intra's side, the op to be recovered. Makzwell so close to victory. And yet it's just snatched away at the very last second. Intra showing up big time in the 1v1. And how many 1vx's have Limitless lost throughout the course of this series?
Granted, that was a 1v3 that Makzwell very nearly won. Okay,
but brought down to a 1v1. It's still a 1vx.
I guess so. Their clutch ability has been questionable. That reload was unfortunate. Couldn't be worse. And we go to timeout. I'm assuming it's from Limitless.
You are correct.
Okay, thank goodness. It's not more psyops from Timbermen. Can't have more of those.
They shelved MK Ultra for right now.
Thank goodness. And it's a Limitless. They're on the precipice of a buy. On the cusp. They can buy an AK on Cameron, but he'll have no utility, so he'll probably go for the Galil instead. Maybe even an SMG if he's so feeling it. Saw a Pro 90 earlier in Cameron's hands, so it's not out of the equation. Everybody else as well, kind of on that cusp. Grizz, to note. We did see they were very, very likely prone, I would dare say, to go for Galil buys on Overpass. You saw, what, a 5 Galil buy at one point?
Yes. That was the last round of the game.
Okay, I guess that's a different situation. What? They're going to go for the more disciplined call. It's pistols. It's pistols. Galils, or not Galils, Tech 9s, excuse me. And 3 Deagles. So this is still a scary investment, but again, they found nothing once Timbermen won rounds.
Now, I would have liked to see Makzwell go for something cheeky like a sawed-off.
No.
Sawed-off jump out of apps.
This isn't Cobblestone. He's not a JW.
Aw.
It's unfortunate, I know. It's the harsh reality.
I don't miss that map, though, I will say that.
I do. Best map of the game. Just felt not a Counter-Strike map, which made it good. Either way, it's slow. The opposite of what I expected for the pistols. We're hitting that minute mark. Look
at the
minute
lurk.
5.
That lurk can give it all up. And Chris is just going to burn down, almost taken out. Droid comes up with another one from Dark with Stars. Found a pair of trades. Cameron trying to lurk. Cannot get the job done. Tag solo. Maxwell's in the red. The nade's going to finish off Cameron on the naps. No, he'll get flushed out instead. Still loses the fight to Shane, but Makzwell pushes into church. Well, hopefully he prayed before he died, because it's 15-9. And Timbermen are knocking on the door of this duo to get their first win of this season of ECL. Go to 1-1 and get up towards the top of the table early on against a team that, yes, they should be beating. But at the same time, if you take these pistol round streaks away from Limitless, it's a very, very dominating performance by Timbermen.
The only time we saw resistance beyond those pistol rounds was on Overpass, right?
Yep. After that first half, and even then it was only 2 rounds.
It was scrappy back and forth. Yeah, it was scrappy back and forth. And then the second half, they lost pistol round and then lost every single round afterwards. And then in this one, they stemmed the bleeding shore on that final round of the half. And they won 2 at the start and then 2 in between the last round of the half in there. Like, it's not good. Once Timbermen got around, it didn't look back. And it's the same here in the second half as well. They lost 4 in a row, and then they've 1 out since. Now, Timbermen looking good as well in this potentially final round of this game, of this series. And Intra pushing out an can do no wrong. Just spamming the smoke does so much damage to Cameron, and Limitless just feel like they're locked out of this round before it could even really begin.
Intra with 1 through the smoke, only 2 left standing. Make
Okay.
it 1 as Intra doubles down. The op from Makzwell tagged 24. Dare will fall at the very least, but a small consolation as Intra with a hat trick to end it off. Timbermen 2-0 up on Limitless. And Limitless, they started off so well on Overpass. 5-0 up, 8-7 half in the favor of Timbermen, despite that T-side start for Limitless. And then things just crashed down on that map. Things were a little more contentious here on Inferno for a little bit of time, but in the end, Timbermen pulled ahead, and Limitless were never able to really sustain the pressure on their opponents. And yes, it is their debut match in ECL. There's a